Yo, finance family, the market moved, but it also didn't move. Are you struggling with this? Let me tell you what I'm talking about, all right? It's Stocks and Hip Hop. I appreciate you stopping back to the channel. If this is your first time, I am Nextro, also known as Dwayne. And each week here at Stocks and Hip Hop, what we do is we cover the 4 indexes and we look for clues. We want to find out our best way to position ourselves to protect our money. And we do that using technical analysis. If you want to learn more about technical analysis, make sure you hit that link in the description below. It shows you where you can go to learn. And we also talk about hip hop. And this week's hip hop lyric comes from Mace, M-A$E. We're going to take it all the way back to like 98 off the 24 Hours to Live track. Where Mace told you he would give every bum on the street cash to invest. Hip hop has always known the power of money, but never flexed it. And that is changing. And we're going to make sure we do that here on this channel as well. So let's look at these charts and let's see what we had going on for this week. The S&P closed at $4,136.25. And you can see we had a huge run towards the end of the week. It was pretty dismal in the beginning of the week. The end of the week though, man, we talking about we turned the jets on once again, just like we did last week, except for we fell a little bit short. And here's what I'm talking about. We've had this run consistently, and this was last week's candle, how we ended up making a run. We got towards the end and all of a sudden popped up. And this week, we did very similar action as last week. Are we in deja vu right now? This week happened to actually close lower. And when you see a candle like this is the open, all right, and this is the close, and we ended up closing lower than we opened at, and that's why that candle is red. So we did test the highs around that 4,200, and we also tested the lows, which we had last week around that 4,000 area. So where can we go from here? Let's go. We see in this reversal zone, every time we've gotten here, we have moved lower. On top of that, we've had a pretty decent pattern here where we've gotten a very huge move, bounce, and then a big move, but not as big as this one, bounce, smaller, bounce, about the equal size here, bounce. So we're going to repeat this pattern is the way I'm looking at this, because we have history. We've seen it there. I believe that the market is looking to turn. Price targets. Price target right now is still, yes, family, that 4,000 area for the downside target is what I am still looking at. All right. Upside target. Upside target is still around that 4,200 area. Nothing has changed. The market stayed the same, but really didn't change too much. And we are still in the twilight zone. We'll be out of it soon. And when we do, we know what to do next. S&P is done. Next on the list, we're going to slay that IWM dragon. IWM closed at 174.45. Now, same zone. All around the world, the same zone. We made a move lower. 170 is what we tested, and we ended up coming back to the upside once again. But we did not close above last week's candle. So where can we go from here? Check this out, family. This zone right here is showing that we're going to likely make an H pattern. We are starting the curve here. As you can see, we had some type of activity towards the top, and we keep closing on the lows. I believe that the market here for the Russell is going to move lower and retest around that 170 area. So downside target is that 170 area. Upside target, if this is going to be some type of action for where it can go higher, we're going to look for this to actually come back to test around that 178 area. This is where we failed this week. Last week before that, we made it to that level and continued to fall lower. So 178 is the first level of the upside. Super bullish would be around that 180 area if we can get there. So that's IWM. Next on the list, what do we got, family? You should be able to follow along by now. All right, we got the Dow. What's going on with the Dow? $33,674.38. And family, right now, the Dow is starting to show weakness again in the very same area. We can see we've been in this range once again. This range has continued to happen throughout this entire year, just back and forth, dip, back and forth. So where can we go from here? Let me show you something. This right here is a bearish engulf. This bearish engulf signal can be, yes, bearish. And we're actually going to look for a close next week below that candle. If we do end up breaking around this resistance around that 33,400 or so, 33,005 in that zone, if we end up breaking that, then this is going to be considered confirmation, and we can have game on for a move back to the downside. So the Dow price target for the downside is around this 33,400 to 500 area. This is where we're looking for it to break first. Upside target is if the market does want to get bullish and we finally get above this 34,500 area. And that, family, has not changed all year long. That has been strong resistance, and I think it will continue to be. That's the Dow. And let's check off the list. The next one is the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is at $13,259.13. So the Nasdaq, very interesting, is the one who closed on its highs. We say close on its highs, flash lower, and then all of a sudden made a push towards the end of the week to move higher. And we closed above that candle from last week. So the Nasdaq continues to be the stronger of the indexes. It was not that long ago, it was the weakest one, and now it is the strongest one. So where can we go from here? The Nasdaq right now, while it does look strong on the surface, I'm still not believing the hype here, family. I'm really not. The Nasdaq right now is showing some signs that it could go higher. But history has shown that when it is in this area, it has reversed. And I am looking for that reversal. Still, upside target right now is still around that 13,500 area. Downside target will remain around that 13,000 area. While things are shaping up to look pseudo bullish, I am still not convinced, only because we have the other indexes showing us signals that the market is going to move lower. So let's recap. S&P is showing signals of stalling out. Last week we had a hammer candle. This week we have a hammer candle. Both of those candles are showing that we could be stalling out here and a reversal is imminent. IWM is the canary in the coal mine, where it is showing that it is likely going to continue to move lower and retest around that 170 area. The Dow is showing a reversal signal right now, where it made a bearish engulf, and that bearish engulf could prove out to be bearish and it could be proven next week with a close below that candle formation. And then the Nasdaq, while the Nasdaq is showing signals that it could actually go up, the candle that it made this week is a hangman candle, and that could signal at least the end of a trend. If it does, then we are going to have all four indexes on a trajectory to move lower. So that is stocks. Now I want to remind you one more time here, I do have merchandise, and I always remind myself I have it because I wear it all the time, but I wanted to make sure that you knew about it, because if it didn't come out of my mouth, then I'd feel bad. So merchandise is available. The links are below. You can go to the site and you can get whatever you can to support. Hoodies, obviously one of my favorites. We have t-shirts and all of that. So you can go there, you can get merchandise to support. One more thing here. I do have a small account challenge. All right, I recently started this on my Instagram. If you're not a follower on my Instagram. Change that now and do that. I do have a small account challenge where I'm helping people with small accounts change their accounts to larger accounts. We're going to do this one trade at a time. This is not a day trade thing at all. This is very simply put. If you work, if you don't have time to look at the market all that time, you can just go to my Instagram. You can hit the subscribe, and I will provide trades there that I personally am doing, so I can show you how it's done with a small account. And we're going to do small increments of like $200, maybe even $400, but we're going to look to do that. And finally, family, make sure you enjoy your weekend. All right, take care of yourself. Health is wealth. Drink your water, spend time with people that you love, and get your exercise. Your exercise doesn't need to be something vigorous, although it would be great, but making sure you take care of yourself is the key. All this money means nothing if we do not have our health. Me personally, this weekend I had my daddy-daughter dance. My oldest, this was her last time in elementary school. So it was precious for that very moment. And then I have my youngest. It was her first time for this dance at the elementary school. So I had a blast there. I want you to have a blast. Share with me what you're doing this weekend. I would love to hear about it. All right. And take care of yourself, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.